Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Learn with Suchi. In previous video, we learned about introduction and history of educational psychology. If you missed that, then you can find the link in the description of this video. In this video, we will discuss scope and contribution of educational psychology. So let's start with scope of educational psychology. Educational psychology is applied to the educative process from birth to death of an individual. In 1976, Lindgren has pointed out that there are three elements in education that concern educational psychologists and teachers. These elements are the learner, the learning process, and the learning situation. Now we will going to know about the learner. The learner is the most important of the three elements, not only because people are more important than processes or situations, but primarily because without the learner, there is no learning. A great deal of what happens in the classroom can be explained in terms of the personalities, developmental characteristics, individual differences, mental health, intelligence, and psychological problems of students. The learner have different personalities, different types of developmental characteristics, different individual differences, different kind of mental health, different intelligence, and different psychological problems. Educational psychologists can help the teachers by telling them something about the pattern of behavior that commonly occur whenever individuals interact with one another in a group setting. Educational psychology helps in cope-up of all these differences. Now, the learning process. By learning process, we mean whatever people do when they learn. What they do includes behavior that is not directly observable, such as perceiving, thinking, remembering, and identifying, as well as the behavior that can be directly observed as writing, computing, attending, and talking. In learning process, we include psychology of learning, motivation for learning, factors affecting learning, diagnosis of learning problems, and remediation. Educational psychology should discover appropriate and efficient ways of organizing and directing learning towards specific goals. It also includes evaluation of learning. Now, the third and the last one, that is the learning situation. Learning situation refers as the environment in which the learner finds themselves and in which the learning process takes place. It includes factors or conditions that affect the learner and the learning process. The teacher is one element and another is the classroom settings. Ventilation, light, noise, and arrangement of seats are some examples of classroom setting. The most significant factors involve attitude of teacher, behavior of teacher, emotional climate of the school, morale of the classroom, general attitude of the community, that is social impact, toward education also affects the learning situation. Now, we are going to learn about contribution of educational psychology. One simple question may arise in our mind that why should educational psychology be taught? The answer of this question we will find in contribution of psychology in education. Educational psychology helps the teachers in the different ways by contributing in theory of education and by contributing in practice of education. Now, contribution of psychology to theory of education. Everyone passes through different developmental stages. They have specific individual differences. They have different problems. For taking education, there were go-to schools where nature of classroom, teaching methods, curriculum construction affects their mental health. By measurement of learning outcome, proper guidance, use of research, and by understanding the group dynamics in the classroom, a teacher will be able to solve the problems faced in teaching learning processes by their students. For these, they must have understanding of developmental characteristics, understanding nature of classroom learning, understanding the individual differences, understanding problem of children, understanding effective teaching methods. They have the knowledge of guidance for the education of exceptional children, developmental of positive attitude, curriculum construction, knowledge of mental health, measurement of learning outcome, understanding group dynamics, and research. Understanding of developmental characteristics. Children pass through different stages of development as infancy, childhood, and adolescence. These developmental stages have their own characteristics. If the prospective teacher knows characteristics of learners emerging at different stages of development, they can utilize these characteristics in imparting instruction and molding their behavior according to the specified goals of education. Understanding nature of classroom learning. The knowledge of educational psychology provides a teacher the knowledge of learning process in general and problem of classroom learning in particular. It also helps in developing a comprehensive theory of classroom learning. We know from our daily experiences in the schools that some teachers are successful in the classroom than others. Some communicate very effectively in the class to students, and some fails irrespective of their knowledge of the subject matter. What makes this difference? Definitely, to be successful in the class, a teacher must know something other than the subject matter. It is the knowledge of science of behavior which makes the difference. To instruct effectively in the class, the teacher must understand the principles of learning and various approaches to the learning process, problem of learning, and their remedial measures. It also gives the knowledge of various approaches to understand the learning process, factors affecting, and guidance for effective learning. Understanding individual differences. No two individuals are alike in the world. The teacher has to face a class of 30 to 50 students who have a great range of individual differences. The teacher, with the help of knowledge of the kind of individual differences, may adjust their teaching to the needs and the requirement of the class. Understanding problems of children. By studying educational psychology, a teacher may understand the cause of problems of children which occur at different age level and can successfully solve them. Understanding effective teaching methods. Educational psychology provides us with the knowledge of different approaches evolved to tackle the problems of teaching at different age level. Educational psychology also provides the knowledge of appropriate method of teaching. Guidance for the education of exceptional children. Most important single contribution of educational psychology is the provision and organization of education for the exceptional children who had been neglected and devoid of educational facilities. Development of positive attitude. Educational psychology helps in development of positive attitude by providing right knowledge of right pathway. Curriculum construction. Psychological principles are also used in formulating curriculum for different stages, needs of students, their developmental characteristics, learning pattern, and needs of the society. All these are to be incorporated in the curriculum. The curriculum in recent years includes the needs of the individual and society so that maximum transfer may occur from school to social situations. Knowledge of mental health. Mental health of the teacher and the taught is very important for effective teaching learning process. The teacher, from the study of psychology, can know the various factors which are responsible for the mental ill health and maladjustment. Measurement of learning outcome. Psychological tools help the teacher to assess the learning outcomes of the students. They can also evaluate their teaching methods and, in the light of the performance of their students, can modify their strategies of teaching. Understanding group dynamics. In recent years, educational psychologists have recognized the importance of social behavior and group dynamics in classroom teaching learning. The teacher must know about the operations which work in total social environment and their effect on learning. Research. Educational psychology helps in developing tools and devices for the measurement of various variables which influence the behavior and performance of students. We can control, direct, and predict the behavior of students on the basis of research studies in classroom teaching. Here we are going to know the contribution of psychology to practice of education. Contribution of psychology is found in problem of discipline, use of audiovisual aids, democratic administration, timetable, co-curricular activities, use of innovations, and production of textbooks when we talk about practice of education. Problem of discipline. Spare the rod and spoil the child was the slogan of traditional teachers who tackled the problem of indiscipline by dint of corporal punishment. Now teachers who have the knowledge of modern educational psychology realize that use of corporal punishment is inhumane. They now tackle the problems of indiscipline by examining the causal factors leading to them in a more scientific way. The teacher is more cooperative now. They have changed their attitude from an autocrat to a democrat. Use of audiovisual aids. It has been experimentally proved that use of audiovisual aids makes the difficult concept more clear and definite, and learning is more lasting. Democratic administration. Problems of administration are now solved by mutual discussion among the various agents of schools. Timetable. By use of educational psychology, subjects are kept in the timetable, keeping into consideration their difficulty level and fatigue index. Co-curricular activities. Now, activities like debate, drama, scouting, and games due importance for the harmonious development of the personality of students. Use of innovations. Several innovative ideas have been introduced to improve the teaching learning process. Production of textbooks. Educational psychology has helped the planning of textbooks. We now write textbooks keeping into consideration the intellectual development of children's needs and their interests as their different age levels. Here I am ending this session. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.